Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of Craft Therapy. Of course, if you see me not starting with my hands, then you know that, yes, I got the hands up there somewhere. If you see me not starting with my hands, then you know that we are in for a bit of an unusual therapy session. As you can see from the title, we're going to talk a little bit about craft therapy, where it's coming from. I kind of alluded to some of it in previous videos, where I am at with it now, and where I one day hope to be with it. So let's talk a little bit, right? Now, I am focusing on my storage shelf for a little bit, because this is where I keep my crafting supplies. Craft therapy started out as knits and beads, as I would have said in a video before, with the intention of just doing something with my hands, something crafty with my hands. Graduated up to a bit of crochet. Well, I think the crochet came first, then the knits and beads. And I kind of spread out and branched out and evolved from there. Right now, I am in a bit of a rut, for want of a better way of putting it, because I have this shelf. The bags that you're looking at are supposed to be on the shelf. There's no space for the bags to be on the shelf. I have other stuff that's coming that needs to fit on the shelf. So like the yarn and the thread that I got when I was overseas is not yet on the shelf. Alright? Do you see where I'm going with this? This shelf cannot hold all of what I have to do in terms of crafting. And it is causing a bit of stress. Thinking about it, if craft therapy is supposed to de-stress me, it should not be the source of stress, correct? Correct me if you think I'm wrong. So, I'm in a bit of a crisis here, a situation. It's something that I saw coming, and it's something that I know, something that I've already thought about in terms of how I'm going to address it, where I need to get this shelf cleared. I mean to get it cleared, right? But let's talk about what we have on the shelf first of all, and then we can discuss how we're going to approach it. So craft therapy in the past was just knits and beads and crocheting, meant to be therapeutic, and in the present, it has exploded into this. Let's discuss what we have presently, and then we see how we're going to go forward for the future. So on the top shelf, I recently created that top layer that you're looking at with that brown box. I just put that brown box up there today. That has a few canvases, my acrylic paints that I want to do a color wheel project with 3 canvases up there. The green box to the side, I think when I moved to this present location in 2021, I moved with that box, with the stuff that is in that box, which is my curling ribbon. From my previous life as a decorator, I have a lot of curling ribbon, but I don't think curling ribbon is in right now for decorating, but I digress. And I have a beaded seat that I have been planning to deconstruct and use the brown beads that are on there, you know, in some way, form, or shape. But that's what's in that. I'm gonna just turn you a little bit. I have the camera on the tripod, and I'm trying not to make any sudden turns. Keep it smooth. The bags that you're looking at, the purple one is a recent addition. That is the one that has my newest therapy baby, which is embroidering. So it has all my embroidery threads, all the needles that I came back with, and a cute little basket. You'll see that in the future. A cute little basket, sewing basket that I got, that I have a few embroidery projects in. The other 3 bags that you're looking at, the cream one, oh, you can't see the cream one. There's a cream one underneath the purple one. The gray and red one, I don't want to say the brand name, and that green one, they all have crochet threads and crochet projects. I believe the cream one has what I have branded my never-ending blanket. One day we'll talk about that one, okay? But that has my never-ending blanket project. And the other two bags have, do you remember the blouse that I did the other day? So it has those color threads and also my Jamaican color threads, because those are things that I have been working on currently. All right, let me take you back to the shelf. So on that shelf that you're looking at below, where I have my little Craft Therapy sign, on that shelf, you might not be able to see everything. Some things are behind the bag. But on that shelf, I have my jigsaw puzzles. I have a few jigsaw puzzles that I mounted already. And I have committed that I'm not buying any more puzzles until all of the puzzles that are on this shelf are complete. I think I have a latch hook project up there as well. But I have my jigsaw puzzles. I have some of the tissue paper that I use when I'm wrapping things. I have my roll of Craft Therapy labels that I put on stuff that I do officially and send out. The puzzles that I have already mounted, they got a little bit wet and damaged, so I have them in a bag that I just need to clean them up and remount them, because all of that work, and they're beautiful, I'm not going to just toss them in the garbage. So that's another project that I am going to be working on in terms of restoring those puzzles plus getting these completed. Let's go down a little bit more. On the shelf below, those are my threads. So there's a box. That nicely crocheted bag has yarn. The purple bin has a lot of my macrame cords. The brown box also has a lot of my macrame cords and some unfinished macrame projects as well. You're seeing the two rows that you're looking at are two of the sugar and cream rolls that I actually was able to bring back with me, but the others are coming in a shipment. Right, so this is my threads section. I'm thinking if there's anything else on this shelf. All right, I don't think there's anything else on that shelf that I need to discuss really. The shelf below it, and I don't think I'm gonna go any lower than this because I don't want the camera to tip over too far. But the shelf below this now, where you see that black bag, that has my sewing supplies. So like my needles and threads, because in another previous life, I used to sew my own clothes. The sewing machine is on the floor somewhere there. I won't go down that far. But the sewing machine is there. It needs to be serviced. So hopefully I can work that into my schedule in terms of getting it serviced, getting my sewing machine back up and running. But I have my sewing stuff there, so I know where to find the needle and thread if I need to ever darn anything. There's also some beads. So this is where my beadings start as well. So there's a purple looking thing that you're looking at, right? There's two purple things actually. The top one, the paler one, that has my my tools, so like my needle nose pliers, tweezers, stuff like that I used when I was doing beading projects. So having to put on my latch hooks and stuff like that, my jump rings and whatever. So that has my tools. And is that where my soldering gun is as well? I don't think that's where my soldering gun is, no. But so on that shelf I have that, and I have the purple thing underneath it is like a little cute bead holding case that I got some time ago, maybe more than 5 years ago. So a lot of beads are in that as well. And then the carton boxes that you're looking at have beads. There is something there that has like pretty paper. Oh, as I mentioned paper, I have another shelf that is off camera that has a lot more stationery supplies as well. Things that I got more than 5 years ago again. 5 years is my point of reference. Before 5 years ago, hint hint, and after 5 years ago, you know what I'm talking about. Pre-C and post-C. The cream bag to the right, I think that's where I have a lot of my like my glue guns, my glue sticks, other random stuff here and there. The bottom shelf, which I can't show you, I have, hey Gris, hey mama, where you coming from? Hunting lizards as usual. The bottom shelf has my beads. So I'm looking at colored beads, as in seed beads. I'm looking at some fancy beads that I would have gotten over the years. I'm looking at letter beads, so beads with letters on them. I'm looking at another bag there that has like my crayons. Remember when we started this channel, I was doing a lot of coloring. So my crayons. On one of these shelves I also have my gel ink pens. And the yellow bag that you're looking at to the right, a little bit to the right, I have my backing boards, my foam sheets, some cartridge paper, stuff like that. On my bookshelf out in the living area, I have my coloring books. I'm thinking of anywhere else that I might have any crafting supplies, because what I've tried to do is keep everything in this one space. I used to keep them in some of the bins similar to the green bin that we have up there. Let me take you back up to the sign. I used to keep them in a lot of bins that looked like that, and that was because I had not yet moved in terms of my house. So since I've moved and I'm in a more permanent spot for now, I can spread out a little bit more. So everything that you're looking at used to be in some sort of storage container like that, right? But my issue right now is I don't like having all of this stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it. I am known to have a dashway spirit or a fling out spirit, where I get to a point where I just see stuff around me, and periodically, some call it spring cleaning. I think I'd like to call it spring cleaning. But periodically I just get into a fit and I just toss stuff. Especially if it is something that I've had and I'm not using it, and it's not useful, you know, in terms of I can't give it away because it would be maybe considered to be trash, or as we say in Jamaica, old broke. So I just toss it. You know, sometimes my garbage truck, they must be wondering, you know, what's coming out of this house? Bags upon bags. Anyway, but I don't want to throw away any of this stuff, and I don't think I should. I don't think I need to. What I need to do is work my way through it. And so, for the future of craft therapy, here is where we're going with the project. First of all, I need to get back to the vision of what craft therapy was supposed to be all about. And as it says in the name, it's therapy, and it's therapy through doing craft, right? Some people choose to pay to go talk to somebody. Some people choose to go exercise. Some people do anything they want to do, but this is what I choose as my therapy. Keeping my hands busy so that my mind can be at peace, as I always say. And it's a real thing for me. But I can't afford to have the source of what is supposed to keep me stress-free becoming stressful. You know what I mean? So we're going to work our way through this. Here's what I'm committing to doing with craft therapy going forward. First of all, where the channel is concerned, it's what I want to do when I want to do it. And if you feel like watching it, if you choose to watch it, I am excited to have you watch along with what I'm doing. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit and watch. So I will be going back to some of the videos where I don't talk at all. I'm just working, and that's fine. If I feel the need to explain and I talk about what I'm doing, that's also fine, right? You can choose whichever method you like, whichever one you want to watch, and that's also fine. It's fine, because it's just me sharing what I'm doing for myself as my little therapy. And if you choose to be entertained by it, and if you choose, entertained is not the word I wanted to use, but if you find it therapeutic for you, that's also fine. Going forward, I want to clear this shelf, clear all of these projects up. Some may be for sale, some may be as gifts, some may be things I use for myself. I find that I make a lot of stuff and I don't have a lot of stuff. So the thing that I made in the middle of the bed that you would have seen in my last video, I think that's maybe no, that's not true, because I do have something in my bathroom that I made as well, right? But I don't make a lot of stuff for myself. So I may focus on, say, Bev, make some things for yourself as well. But I tend to give away most of what I make. Or it's incomplete, and I don't like that. I don't like the fact that I start so many projects and I don't seem to be able to complete them. So that's also something I have to work through mentally, in terms of why is it that you start so many things. Listen, craft therapy is just one aspect of it. I won't even show you how many story plots, how many half-written stories I have, because that's another thing that I have to get out of my system. I write very well. I've been writing since high school, but that's a whole other channel. When I get that part of my life up and running, we will share that as well. But I don't complete things, and I don't like that about me. And so I'm committing, and I want to be held accountable. I'm committing to clearing this shelf. I can't say when, because I can't say, okay, I'm going to clear it by the end of 2025. I don't know what the rest of the year holds in terms of other side projects that I would have to take on and put a pause on what I'm doing on the shelf. I don't know, so I can't commit to say I'm going to be clearing it by the end of the year. But what I will commit to doing is all the material that I have, nothing will be added to it. So the embroidery kind of got in, it kind of slid in just before I closed the door. You know what I mean? But the embroidery has a purpose, right? I deliberately went into the embroidery with a purpose in mind. That's another thing I will share later on. But I'm committing to working my way through these projects and doing what I want with the finished project, in terms of, am I going to go to a craft show? We have quite a few of them in Jamaica from time to time. Am I going to bite the bullet and, go and rent a booth, display my wares, and see if I can make back some of the money I spent? Am I going to gift it? Am I going to keep it? Whatever it is, all of this raw material needs to go. So I'm committing to not adding any other craft type to craft therapy, and I'm not adding any more material unless it's a case where what I am adding is material for a project that I am already working on. So for example, I have been working on a Jamaican colored macrame bucket bag set, and I know I don't have enough cord. So I'm going to have to order more, but it's for a project that I already have underway, right? So no more material, no more craft types or craft groups will be added. So that's the direction in which I see craft therapy going. I need to get this completed. Is there anything else? Oh, but I think I'll reserve that for a next couple of videos. There are some things I'm working on, exciting things I must say, where I'm really finding my niche. I will be sharing those. One of the things that I usually do is try to film everything for a video in one go. Well, let me not say in one go, but in 1 week. But now I think I'm going to have to do videos over a period of time. So I'll be adding timestamps to some of my videos. No, not timestamps, date stamps. So for example, I will say, okay, today is Wednesday, April 2nd, and I'm working on this aspect of the project. A couple weeks later, Wednesday, April 22nd, and I'm working on this aspect of the project, etc., etc. So I'll be telling you some dates because some projects, admittedly, will not be finished within a week. But what I will try to do is condense the entire project into a week. Now, the Jamaican table set project that I recently worked on, I could have done that and condensed all of it into a week, but I deliberately didn't because I knew I was going to be traveling, not having my equipment, and I needed to space the things out a bit so that I could have material on the channel while I was away. So that was deliberate, I will confess. But for other projects, I think, I can film in multiple parts, over a period of time, and then edit them all together to form just one video, so that it won't be too time consuming or tedious to watch every week. You're just seeing a little piece going on, a little piece going on. Sometimes you want to see the finished product or project all together. So I'm going to be trying to do more of that as well. As we speak, I am working on let me reach for it here. I'm gonna just hold it up in front. One of the sugar and cream threads that I brought back, I am working on this lovely, it's a little bit out of focus, but this is going to be a skirt, right? I'm working on it. I'll give you a better view later down. But I am working on a skirt, and I am also going to link the channel that I'm getting all of these patterns and designs from. I found an excellent channel that is into crocheting clothes, and I think she is pretty good in terms of her tutorials. I will link her. I will make sure that I acknowledge her as a creator of the design or whatever, because I'm not a design creator. I will just follow somebody else's pattern. But I'm going in that direction as well. As you would have heard me say in previous videos, I want to be more organic with even the clothes that I wear. So I am really dialing back, going through what I have, getting rid of the synthetics, trying to embrace the natural fibers more, and finding this thread is a game changer. The blouse that I crocheted last year was my first attempt at crocheting my own clothes, and having found this thread, which is thicker and organic, 100% cotton, is really going to be a game changer in that direction. Getting my sewing machine back up and running, I will also be able to start sewing for myself again. I'm very simple in terms of my attire, jeans and t-shirt, and I'm good to go. But adding these pieces, I think, will be a game changer for me. Going forward, where do I see craft therapy? First of all, getting these shelves cleared. I have been saying, that the cost of material and the time to get stuff done and the labor cost and everything, it does add up and it does become pretty pricey. But I believe that for the right person who is intent on acquiring a unique piece, things will be for sale. Things will be for sale. It's just that be mindful of the fact that it's going to cost. I remember some time ago, there was this little song going around. I won't sing it out, but it costs so much because it takes hours. You know how to fill in the blank, right? And the girl that was working on, she was working on a beautiful macrame piece, and I think she said the cost was like $3,000 US. And I was like, wow. Well, and guess what? It was a commissioned piece, so it was already paid for. And I'm like, there is a market out there. It's just that it's not maybe everybody's cup of tea, and it's not everybody's range in terms of their pocket. A friend of mine once said, nothing is expensive, it's just that you can't afford it. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful or anything, but it is true in terms of if you think about life, sometimes that things that we say is a bit pricey. It's pricey because it's out of a particular person's price range. But if it was less expensive, then it would be affordable and it would be okay. So saying that to say again that this kind of art form is expensive. The material is expensive, the time is expensive. And I'm not pricing things out of the ordinary person's price range, if at all possible. But some things are just going to be more pricey than others, and we just have to accept and agree and run with that. But I am going in the direction of crocheting my own clothes, crocheting a lot of stuff that I will get a lot of good use out of. So maybe even doing my macrame curtains, like I have one in my shower right now. Macrame curtains, macrame mats, going to more craft shows, getting items sold maybe online, build a website and sell my stuff online. I did think about going the Etsy route, but Etsy is no longer available in Jamaica in terms of me setting up a store in Jamaica, so that's out of the window. Gifting as usual, which is what I have been doing. And ultimately, I do want to include people in this craft therapy journey. By that I mean actually have a space where I have the material set up and people just come and sit and craft. Use my material and do what you want to do, however you need to do it. I went to a place called the Craft Castle a few weeks ago, and his story is similar to mine in terms of he just loves crafting, and one day he decided to include his friends and Craft Castle was born. Just a tiny little space. He has the table set up, all the material. You just come. Well, you have to pay, of course, because it's a business that he has made out of it. But you come and sit your craft for an hour or two and you go. So that is ultimately my dream of having a space where I set up a table or set up a space and I have my material set up, and you book a spot, you come in, you do something to take your mind away from your everyday humdrum life. Something that relaxes you, something that is meaningful to you, something that helps you to think, something that helps you to take a breather from life. As I said before, some persons do other things, exercise, write, read, whatever. If crafting is your thing, ultimately I want to provide that space for you to come in and take a load off. And that's it for craft therapy for today. So we didn't get any crafting done, but I hope that you enjoyed this insight into my space and what I have in front of me in terms of my craft therapy space, the projects that we're going to be working our way through. And next week I can't say what we're going to be doing because I don't know yet. I really don't know. And with the new mindset, I really don't know. We might be cleaning up a jigsaw puzzle. We might be painting a color wheel. We might be working on the crochet skirt. We might be doing a Jamaican colored granny square. Who knows? We don't know, and that's okay. That's quite okay. Because again, that's a part of the stress that you don't want. You don't want to, oh, I have to do this. I have to do this. You know what I mean? But thank you for joining me. And find something to do. Although you didn't see me doing anything today. But find something to do and get those hands busy so that your mind can be at peace. Happy crafting.